Everybody, welcome to Elisa's Art Room. Today is Stencil Sunday and we are going to be working on an Essential Stencil project. Y'all come in and say hi. Let me know you're here. We are live on Facebook. If you're catching this later over on YouTube, it is a replay. I'm just going to find you all on my other devices here so I can see your chat. Hopefully this is working. I haven't done an event this way in a while because my event function was not working. And I think it's working. I'm just waiting for some people to sign on so I know you're here. All right, let's see. Let me find you guys. I see one person. Hopefully it's working. I'm always nervous when I try something a little bit different. All right. Oops, volume's up. Okay. Got you on my phone. If I can get you guys on my Kindle, we'll be good. Still waiting to see. It's showing 2 people. I'm not seeing any comments yet, so. Hey, Karen. All right. I think it's working right. Volume okay, guys? Y'all let me know. I got it all the way up. Hopefully we're good. So we're doing a little bit of an upcycle today. So as y'all know, the Essential Stencil company is doing like an upcycle thing this month. It's like, what was the dates? I had them written here. February 9th through February 23rd. And they have like a group and you can add your posts and stuff. The group was in a link on my page. I didn't put it here. I'll have to see if I can figure out a way to put it here. But I have this little bag and it's just a pharmacy bag. I typically just toss them, but I've been saving them the last 3 or 4 times and making things out of them. So I figured I'd use this today. If y'all don't have this type of a pharmacy bag, you can also do it with just a paper bag. You know, small paper bag. It's a little bit different, but it can be done. Thank you for the stars, Karen. I appreciate that. All right, I'm not seeing some of my regulars. I hope everybody can find this okay. It seemed to pop up on my page fine, so hopefully it's working. I just don't know if it's notifying the same way as my normal one does. I guess we'll find out, huh? If nobody else jumps on. All right. So we're going to make this. It's just a little cute little envelope folder. It's got a couple pockets in it. So look, it's got a pocket here and a pocket here. Okay. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. It's pretty easy. All right. I guess I'll go ahead and pull the camera up top and get started. Hopefully some more people will show up. All right. Give me 1 second to move this camera. It's a little bumpy. Okay, am I straight? I'm pretty straight today. Okay. All right, let's see. I am just going to pop a message in. if that works. Okay, so step one, get a bag. And I'm going to try to show you the things you're going to need. So we're going to use rub-on transfers today. And I have a few sets. I think I'm going to use the spring flowers and butterflies and probably the honeybees. But you can also use vintage birds or rustic summer flowers. Any of these sets would be great. If I don't find what I want in there, I might use one of those other sets. I'm pretty sure they're all in stock right now. They were out of stock for a while, but I'm pretty sure they're back now. All right, I'm just trying to get... So we're going to pick whatever we're going to use out of this, but that'll be our second step. The next step you need is some sort of a paper to cover this with. It can be anything, really. It can be a grid paper that you've, like I was inking on this, literally. I was just inking for my journal on it, and I kept it because it's pretty. It can be a book page, some sort of a book page. It can be a digital that you buy off of Etsy. Okay, these are digitals. Some of these I've covered with some gesso, just a light coat, because it just helps your transfer to show up better. I may use that one, or I may use this one. I don't know. Or maybe I'll use both. So you can cover it with gesso or not cover it with gesso. That's optional. If you don't cover it with gesso, your transfer, will show through the letters more. And it might get a little lost depending on the color, but it'll still work just fine. Either way. It's all about, just whatever you're looking for. So some sort of a paper. Now, if you are going to cover your papers in gesso or something, do that first. You want it to be totally, totally dry when you use your transfers. Okay, so make sure that you get that and you get it dry. I can show you just real quick how to do that. I assume you guys know, and then just little strips. I like to have little strips to use on just little bits. You'll see what I mean in a minute. This happens to be Midsummer Night's Dream. It was one of my kids had a little school book back from when they were kids, so a long time ago. That I still had, I had two of them because for some reason I had two. Alright, so we're just going to do this one. And you just grab yourself some gesso. You can also use just white paint that's been watered down. That's fine too. I'm going to use gesso just to show you guys. And get something to paint on. I'm just going to grab this so I don't want to mess up my surface. You can use a silicone mat, whatever. I'm just grabbing what's handy. And then you would just want a brush or a sponge. I kind of like the sponge better, but you can do either. We're going to use a sponge just because it's quicker. Any kind of a sea sponge will work. And if you don't want to use a sea sponge, you can just use a brush. Just your normal paintbrush. Okay. So we're going to put just a little bit of gesso on here so I can show you how quick and easy it is. So if you're using a damp, this is wet. If you're using a damp sea sponge, so you can see the amount of water on my hand, not a lot, just a little. You don't really need to water that down. If you're not using a damp one and you're using a brush, I would water it with just a spritz of water. Just spritz it. Okay, but since I'm using a sponge, I'm not going to water it down. I'm just going to dip in there. Okay, and just put some on here. And you don't have to cover it completely. Uh-oh, my Kindle just went away. Okay, hope I didn't lose y'all. I hope it's just my Kindle restarting for some weird reason. So we're just going to coat that just a little bit. And then you just set it aside and let it dry. You can dry it with a blow dryer, but if you do, just make sure it's really, really, really dry. So I'm going to set that aside. Put that in water. You don't want to leave paint on your sponge. Dump it in some water. Wash it later. When you can. I'm going to have to pull my candle back up because I can't see y'all's chat now. And my phone, for whatever reason, is froze. I'm just having a great day. All my devices are not working properly. All right, let's see if we can get the phone to reload. All right, I see Dawn, yay. I see Dorothy, yay. All right, let's get this Kindle back up. I use the Kindle because I can see the chat better. On my phone, it's teeny tiny. And I can't see very well anymore. You get old lady eyes now. Oh, come on, Kindle. Cooperate. Always something. Come on. It probably had like an update or something. Which you'd think on Do Not Disturb. It would not do that, but I don't know. All right, put that down. I washed it off. Make sure this is dry. Okay, so after you've painted your paper, we can start prepping our bag just a little bit. So you're going to take your bag and you're going to use, I think, this side. Let me just check the fold. No, I want to use, I like this to show. Let me see how I folded it. Open the other one. Always keep a cheat. I wonder if they had the thing in the same place. All right. Huh. I think that is interesting. I'm trying to see if it's... Oh, it's totally in a different spot. Interesting. So this worked out to where it was exactly where I wanted it last time, but this time they stamped it higher. Isn't that funny? What about on this one? Yeah, that one's a little bit lower. But this one had a tear, and I didn't really want to have to work around the tear. You can work around the tear if you want to, but we'll work with this one. What I might do is just make that flap a little bit bigger. So I really liked that showing. So I'll just make it a tiny bit bigger. All right, so fold it once, okay? And then fold it again. And you can use your bone folder, but be gentle because these are kind of a little bit fragile. So I've just been using my fingers. So it's 2 folds. All right, this becomes your flap. Really, Kiba? Oh, my kitty wants out. All right, this side we're going to cut off even. So we're going to trim that real quick. You can just use scissors, or you can use... I'm going to use my rotary cutter because it's less likely to tear this fragile bag. Let me let that kitty cat out in a second. Oh my goodness. All right, so this edge is going to have this part folded in. So we're going to, because I want to reinforce it, I don't want this little bitty fragile edge. So I'm just going to fold it down just as much as I want to keep this pocket big. So I'm going to think about where I want the size. So I'm going to fold it up and look about how big I want it, which I do believe I want it to be about there. Is that about where I did it last time? It is. That's a good size. You can go maybe a tiny bit bigger, but I want to keep enough to fold over. So I'm just sticking it next to it. So this part will be lost. It'll be inside basically. And this will be the size of the actual envelope. Okay. Well, technically, yeah, that's right. Make sure I'm thinking right. Okay, yeah, that's right. All right, So let me fold this real quick. I'm just going to give myself a little crease there. And I'm going to give myself a crease here, just so I know how much I need to take off. And you want to come down just a little bit because you don't want to interfere with the fold. So we're going to come down just a little bit below. And what will happen is this will come up and it will meet right there, but leaving like a, we'll say an 1/8 of an inch gap is good because you don't want it to interfere and not lay flat. All right, so this part, I hope this isn't too confusing. Let me let that kitty out. He's going to sit there scratching on the door. All right, mister. Out you go. I think I wake him up when I start talking. He's always asleep when I go live on my bed, and then he wakes up. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this to reinforce this little bitty edge. Now, it's kind of crooked, so I must have done a really horrible job of folding that. Let me just double check. Try to keep it straight so that your bag is straight. It might be the bag itself, but I'm just going to double check real quick. Make sure that I'm straight. All right, that's a little bit better, I think. All right, there. So now we want to snip off inside. So open it up, and you're going to have 4 corners to snip. So this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner. And that's just so that we can fold it in easily. You could fold it in like it is, but it's a lot harder. So we're going to snip it. So I'm just going to grab some tiny scissors here. You can use normal scissors, guys, but these are handy. And we're just going to snip just to that point, okay? Not this one. Don't do the middle one. If you do, you could just glue it down, but try not to do the middle one. This is just making it easier to fold this down. Okay? So now, what we're going to do, and I like to open it up as much as I can to do this part, is we're going to take these flaps and fold them in and glue them. So I'm just going to give them a little fold to make sure that the fold is strong enough for me to find after I stick the glue on there. I'm going to fold them all in on that crease that we had. I hope you can see this. I know I'm going in and out close to the camera. And just make sure that you've got a good crease. And that you're nice and straight. Okay, so I'm just going to fold that bag back down real quick. I'll fold it back out, but for right now I'm going to fold it down just so I can crease that. I just want to make sure I can do it real easy once I get that glue on there. All right, now fold it out. And if you feel like you've got a good enough crease, you can skip that step. Get a hold of it. I folded that over. I didn't mean to fold that over. All right. So now we're going to put glue. This is a little bit tricky, but not too bad because it does open pretty good. So you could probably use a glue stick, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use art glitter. But you just want to put glue on here. If you use a glue stick, put something underneath so you don't get glue all over your table. And you just want to make sure that you get enough to hold that flap down. You don't have to go all the way to that seam there. And it's not going to be in a spot where it's really going to hit too much, so you can kind of just fold it in. You've got a nice crease, so it should just go easy. All right. Turn it over. Do your next little section. You can do it in any manner you want as far as sections go. It doesn't matter. Like I said, it's a little flimsy, so. But this really does help reinforce the edge, so I wouldn't skip this step. You could skip it, but you know, it really does help. Okay, some more glue. Do this side. If you've got a little flap that's loose like that, you might want to glue it down just because, just to give it a better fold. But snipping those edges really does make this part a lot easier. Try not to get it underneath. Okay, and one more. And I was inspired to do this project by a lady called, what is her YouTube? Camelia Crafts Designs. And that is C-A-M-E-L-I-A, Crafts Designs. She did one with a paper bag that was similar. It's not like this exactly, but it's very similar. So if you have a paper bag, I would definitely check out her tutorial. She just recently did it. I think it was called Paper Bag. No, I don't think it was called Paper Bag Pocket Folder. Maybe it was. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I'll try to link it for y'all. I'll link it on the YouTube definitely, but maybe not the Facebook. All right, so now you've got a nice reinforced edge. See how clean that is? It looks a whole lot better. It's much stronger. All right, let's come back over. Got our two folds. And this edge is now nice and clean, and it goes up just below that second fold. Okay, just below. Don't get too close. All right, so you got that tiny little gap there is what you want. And then that will fold over like that. All right, and then when it's opened, you see that. And I thought that was cute. Because after all, it is a recycle, upcycle type project. See if my chat's still showing. Sometimes it freezes on me. All right, I think we're good. Okay, so now you've got that. What you want to start thinking about is how you're going to decorate it. Okay, and we're going to, like I said, we're going to use transfers today. So I've already got some papers that I cut to size and that are dry. So I have this one, which was, it was actually a digital, and then I've got this one. So you can just leave a little edge because I like showing that I've recycled something. So I'm not covering the whole thing. So one of these can go on this side, and then one can go on the back. The back is optional. You don't have to cover it, but it looks cute, so why not? I think I'll put that one on the back because it's just a little bit bigger. Not much, just a fraction bigger. We'll put this one on the front, I think. All right, so we're going to do that. And then I've just got this little strip of book words, and it's gonna go here. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and prepare our closure, but we're not gonna glue it down just yet, just because it'll be easier. Actually, I'm not gonna put it on just yet either, because it's easier. Don't put your closure until you decorate this, but you do want to know where your closure will be. Okay, so like on this one, I used a brad. You can use a brad, you can use a button, you can use Velcro. I mean, you can use whatever you want. But I'm using a brad there. Half tempted to use a button. We'll see if we can get to 2. I don't know. If I do, I'll show you how. I'll real briefly show you how I would use a button, but I'm not probably going to do it today. Let's see, what colors do I have in here? I'm probably going to be using some pinks and stuff. This is just a Dollar Tree container of buttons. Try to find one that's about the right size. Maybe I'll use a brown one. Oh, there's a red one that's kind of nice. Oops. I'm going to throw them all over the place. Look for these when you're at Dollar Tree, because I see them all the time at mine. They come in a brown pack and then a mixed color pack. Decide if I want that one or if I want brown. But somewhere around that size is probably good. You could go a little smaller, but you got to allow room for your string to wrap. This one has 2 holes, which is better than 4 holes. So I would say pick one with 2. That one's not big enough, I don't think. Let's see, might not have a gray one. 4, there's a 2. It's black. I don't have a good brown one. You would think out of all these buttons there would be a brown one with 2 holes. But I'm not seeing one. I don't want to go too big. I'm trying to keep it small. Oh, there's one. It might be big enough. I don't know. It's better if it's a little bit bigger because you got to wrap string. If you were going to do a button, pick one with, I'm not going to use that one's too little. Let's see. Get these back in here. Oh my goodness. I made a mess. Let me see if I can take it off the end of my table. My kitty is crying. Everybody's ignoring him. He's all mad. All right, if you were going to use a button, so the idea of this separate fold here is to hide whatever you're using here. Okay, so if you were doing a button, the button is going to go through this top layer, and this is just going to hide it. So the button would go on the back here, okay, and sewn just here. So sewn through there and there, and then you would cover it with that so you wouldn't see the inside. Okay, and keep it a little bit loose so that you can wrap. So if you're using a button, that's what I would do. If you're not using a button and you're just using a brad, grab yourself a brad. Now I prefer a larger brad for this than the smaller. I have some teeny tiny ones. They're not big enough. You want a brad with a decent size head on it. So I've got these larger ones. Make sure that's not the one with the letter. There's one in here that I put a sticker on. You can put rub-ons on these brads. And I put this little XO rub-on on there. And I keep pulling it out. Out of all these, it's always the one I grab. Ooh, sorry about the squeaky. I know that'll make y'all like nails on a chalkboard. All right, find yourself a brad, and we're just going to mark where to put it toward the middle there. As long as it's strong enough wherever it is, it doesn't matter. You can put it lower, you can put it a tiny bit higher, just somewhere good. It really doesn't matter. Figure out your center. You can just fold it in half and figure out your center if you want, but I'm not going to add a crease. So I'm going to use my grid, and I just find a center point. So here's my center point, and I'm just the same here as I am here. And I just eye it. It doesn't have to be exact, guys. And then just mark it. And I'm going to use a white chalk pencil if I can find it. All right, so just mark your center. And then we're just going to mark where this is going to go. So I think I'm going to put it kind of in the middle there. So I'm going to put it right about there. Okay? And then you want to open it up. Don't poke a hole where you don't need a hole. We don't want a hole there. We only want a hole in the other part. Now you can just cut this with a X-Acto blade. That's the easiest way to do it with these larger brads. Because they're flat anyway. So I'm just going to slice it with my X-Acto blade. If you could use your Crop-A-Dial if you want, if you would prefer a round little hole on there, it really doesn't matter. If you're sewing it, you just sew it. You don't need a hole. Okay? You're sewing something. So I'm just going to cut this just a teeny tiny bit like that. Just large enough for this to go through. I think that looks about right. Yeah, don't go crazy on it. Okay, and then that's going to go through like that. I'm not going to put it in yet. I'm just going to show you. And then it's going to fold down. Okay, but I do want to know where that's going to be because I don't want to put things there that are important, like in my decorating. So if you want, you can just kind of mark it with a little circle around it. It'll erase later. So we're just going to kind of mark it loosely. So I know that I don't want to put anything important right there. You can put stuff there, but nothing that you care to not see, you know? All right, so there we go. We're marked. So I'm going to decorate this. Where's my front? I think I was going to do that on the front. This is the back, right? No. Yes, no. We're going to do this on the front. I don't like that spot, though. Maybe I'll pick a different one. Let me see. Maybe I'll pick this one. I kind of like that says garden there. It won't be centered if I use it. Oh my goodness, kitty. My cat is losing it. All right. I'm just going to do another one. This is really distracting to me, so I'm just not going to. But I'm going to tear this to fit, so just line it up. I'm going to do a little bit better job than that, I think. Let me use a darker pencil. So I'm going to tear about there, and about there. And let's do that side first because I'm going to lose it after I do it. I'm just going to use my tearing ruler. If you don't have a tearing ruler, you can tear it by hand. But tearing ruler is a little bit easier. I have an instruction video for making this. It's just made out of a wooden school ruler. It's very easy. Well, to me it's easy. I don't know. I'll have to ask some of y'all who have done it if you think it's easy. But I think it's easy. And then I'm going to take, I want to leave that garden because I think it's kind of cute. We'll leave it. So I'm going to tear right there, I think. We'll just, you can barely see that it says garden, but you can see it. Because I'm probably not going to put anything right there. And then, let's see about there. So, hopefully y'all are liking this project. I don't have a lot of things I can upcycle around my house. I have lots of paper products. Save that little piece because that would be good for that top piece. All right, so now we've got that. That's a little bit better, I think. You can ink it, not ink it. That's up to you. Really doesn't matter. This is going to be my back piece. Let me set that there. I'm going to move this wet one. It's almost dry. Look at that. Almost. Not quite. I'm going to set that aside. Let me grab my inker. If you ink this bag, guys, it's a little bit shiny if you have this exact one. So I would use the archival ink on it, other than the distress ink. It will probably work better, but this paper can be distress ink. Oh my goodness. Kiba. Can y'all hear him? He's just a-crying. He's not a happy kitty. My husband just got home from work, and I know he's exhausted. He went in at like 7 this morning, and I'm sure because he just got home, the cat's like, "Where'd you give me attention?" He's going to sit there and meow at his door. All right, so we're just going to ink that. I might ink some of these other pieces just to have it done. I don't know if I'm going to use this one or the other one, but we're going to go ahead and just throw a little bit of ink on it. These flimsy ones are tricky. I'm going to have to go yell at him, or y'all are going to hear him cry the whole time. I'm not going to really yell. But I might see if he'll come back in. Hold on. No, buddy, he doesn't want you in there. No, you stay in here with mommy. kitty cat. You're silly. He's a little, loves his attention. I almost said something I didn't. Y'all know what I almost said. He's an attention something something. I'm not going to say it. Anyway, so now that we've got that, see, I knew y'all knew. We're going to decorate this with our rub-on. We'll ink that later. Let's see, let me pick a rub-on. All right, so we'll look at spring flowers first and see what I have that's small. Now, you don't have to use a small one. You can also just chop out a big one. It really doesn't matter. You know, work with whatever works. I think I know what I'm going to do, but I'm not sure. So as I cut these up and they become these little pieces, I like to put them in these little bags. It just helps them not to be everywhere, because they're very susceptible at this stage to getting messed up, because what will happen is as it goes in next to each other, they'll catch and the plastic will pull off. So be very careful that you layer them on top carefully and try not to let them overlap like that. So let's see what we have here. I think I'm leaning toward this one flower. I don't know if I have a small one of it. I've got like 2 sets here, so just gonna look at my sizes. So this would be cute. I could put that right there. I have that one with the purple and the butterfly. I'm gonna see if I can fit it. Trying to find it. All right, it's not in this. It's not in my already cut pieces, so it must be here. I'm leaning toward this one. Just that section there. I did the pink on the other one, so I wanted to do something a little bit different on this one. I think I'm going to try that section. This would also be pretty, this yellow. They're also pretty, guys. Picking the flower is always going to be the challenge. But we're going to try. Where'd my scissors go? I think I'm going to use this one. We're going to cut it out and see how it looks. I'm going to cut the whole thing, but I might not use the whole thing because it's obviously too big. But I am going to cut it to start. All right, let's see how this looks. So that would cover about to there. That's pretty good. I like that. I think I'm going to leave it to where the butterfly shows, and then I might add a bee or something up there. But I think I want the butterfly to show. So I'm just going to go to right there. And I will use that for something else. I don't fret about cutting these because I almost always just end up using the other piece somewhere else. Piece it together somewhere. All right, I'm going to put that there, and then maybe a bee up there. We're going to start with this. So once you get your design, like I said, I prefer to go ahead and put it on the paper before I glue it on, because what happens sometimes is you'll glue it on, but the glue has added too much moisture, and you'll think it's dry and it's not quite dry, and what happens is your transfer pulls off the paper because it sticks. So if that's happening to you and your paper's pulling off, it's probably because it's not completely dry. So I prefer to do it on this section first and then attach it and glue it, so that I'm not putting the glue immediately before the transfer. Okay, so you peel it off. Don't touch the image part. That's the sticky part. Figure out exactly where it's going. We're just going to guesstimate about here. Okay, lay it on there. And then you can use your little orange thing that it comes with, or I like to use a piece of soft wood that I've cut, and I call it my transfer stick. It's just a piece of wood from Dollar Tree that I sanded real smooth. I can hold this better. If you're like me, you know, having things that you can grip better is better. And then just make sure that you get all your edges. Be very careful if you cut this really close now, because you can grab that little edge and it will pop up before you're ready for it to pop up. And then sometimes if it pops up too soon, it just doesn't want to stick back down. So try to be careful. I've done it. I've pulled the thing off too soon because I got in a hurry and I went too fast. But give it a good rub everywhere. I'm going to zoom in. My Kindle looks really far out. The iPad's not as bad, but I'm going to zoom in just a fraction, guys. I just need to put me some tape or something because I'm going to forget that I'm zoomed in. I'm going to look at my iPad because that's the closest. Well, actually my phone's about the same. We're going to try to stay within. I know this one's a little close, but this is just my little cheat tape. So I don't get out of screen. I try not to get out of screen, guys. It also reminds me I need to zoom back out. All right, we'll try to stay in there. Okay. Back to rubbing. All right, once you think you've got it all rubbed down, you can start pulling one edge and looking through it. So you're going to pick an edge, and as you pull it up, you're going to look through and see if it's coming off. It'll be clear. Stop and rub it some more. And you can kind of pull and rub at the same time. I have found if you have a piece that's really sticking, that's just giving you a hard time, fold it over a lot, and it seems for whatever reason, the more it's folded over, the better it pulls off, more so than if you're coming up straight. I've only had to do that on a couple that were just really, really not wanting to release. So if that's happening, try folding it over a little bit stronger and see if it'll release from there. This one's not doing too bad. I missed a little stem there. Go slow, especially on paper, guys. Paper's a little more finicky. Like I said, it can pull the paper right up if it's not completely dry. Usually, I find as long as it's completely dry, I don't have any issues. Isn't that pretty? So you got that little background there. Okay. See, and this is nice and clear. So everything came up. Throw that away, throw that away. All right, let's grab a bee, I think. Where are my bees? There are bees and a couple different ones. I do really like the bees that are in the last one we got, the honeybees one. There are bees in, let me think, is it rustic flowers? Let me see. I know there were bees in something else. I think it was rustic. Yeah. There are bees in the rustic, but they're these kind of bees. And I'm not as fond of them as the bees on this one. I think the bees on this one look more realistic. So I really like the bees on this one. Now, guys, this little plastic thingy can be a pain. Okay, just take it. You can either fold it over on itself or just stick it underneath and fold it down. Then you won't grab your transfer when you're trying to pull it out. Okay. All right, let's pick some bees. Got a little bee there I might use. Let's see which one looks better. I want a medium size, maybe. That one's too big. Let's try a littler one. Oops. All right, here's one. Pick one of these smaller bees. I think we will go with, I might just do that one. It's right there at the edge, just waiting. little bead there, I think. Oh my goodness. Nowhere to put stuff, guys. All right. Okay. Let's pull him off and decide which direction. I'm going to have him kind of flying toward the flowers. And we're just going to stick him right there. Now he will probably be under the flap, and that's perfectly fine. You'll be a little surprised when it's opened. Grab yourself one of these spatulas. If you can't get under your edges, it makes it so much easier, guys. Okay, give him a little rub. There we go. We got a little bee on there. And for me, that's enough. If you want, you could add a grounding thing there, but I don't think it's necessary. Sometimes I'll ground things, sometimes I want. And grounding means just making it look like they're not coming out of straight air. A box or something to ground it. And if you want to do that, you could add a piece of extra paper or something like that. But I'm kind of okay with this one. If you want, you can add like watercolor pencils and just make a little shadow ground on there. That looks cute too. It's up to you. There are lots of things you can do, but I kind of like that. It's nice and simple. So that's going to go there. And then, like I said, that bee will probably be hiding. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Now, I want something right here. I've got that. It's going to be there. So we're going to put this. I'm going to make sure this is the right direction. I can't even read it, guys. All right, I think it's that way. That's going to go there. And then I want something up here. Little flowers growing. This is going to be my ground. And I'm going to put little flowers out of it. So I'm going to see if I can find some teeny little flowers that I can grow out of that, so to speak. So let's see. What we got here. There's a couple little ones. I'm going to try to find, maybe on the other set. Could do the lavender. I'm going to save that, I think, for another spot. Let me see. Where did I put that bag? Oh, there it is. Oops. I just knocked them all off. Kitty went back to sleep. I'll save that. I might use it. All right, so just peek through. So a good place to find them is if you've got a little one like that. That's a nice one. I like that edge. I'll probably swipe that one from there. Maybe this eucalyptus here would be cute. You know, just keep in mind if you don't want to mess up something. You know, don't mess up something. Use a scrap. But honestly, as you go and you start using your stencils and you have to cut them every now and then, or not stencils, transfers, you'll probably find that you're getting little pieces that you can use. It tends to be what happens. I'm trying to grab these little tiny pieces that I dropped. Just bear with me. Okay, so little bluebell-like things. I don't know, bell something. I don't know what they're called. That's a clover. I don't know why that's in there. It's probably from my St. Patty's one. Too big for that section. Here's a good one. This would probably give me some good little flowers. All right, so we're going to cut this right here. And we're going to use that one. And then we're going to use these two separate. And just remember, since we're cutting these really close, I'm going to be very careful when I'm putting them on. And I'm going to cut that. It's a little too long, I think. It might work. So I'm going to put it behind my ground. Okay, there. All right, so I got that one. Where'd my tweezers go? So I can pick these things up. I got that one, this one. Somewhere about there. And what else? Oh, I wanted that, maybe that eucalyptus. Maybe. Just just a little sprig of that. And decide which side looks better. I might just do it from there. Okay, so I'm just kind of gathering what I want to use first. See if there's anything else. I think that might be enough. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. And then I'll put a little tiny bee or something, probably. All right, let me pull those away. I do like the lavender. I don't see a small enough one of it, though. That one might be small enough. I'm talking to myself, sorry. I think I might try that one. I think that's the smallest one on here. I come all the way in there. I'm probably out of camera. Try to stay close. Cutting is tricky. And it goes out of focus because I get too close to the camera. All right, we'll do that. All right. Let's see. What part? Oh, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so about there. I might use the little, I might use that little leaf somewhere. Let's see. All right, there, that gives me plenty of little flower options. Okay. Now this one I'm just going to put right on the bag. You don't have to. You can put it on paper if you want to have a background, but it doesn't have to have a background. I'm just going to do it right on the bag. If I can get all this out of my way. Okay. So, now because I haven't put the brad, there's nothing in my way. And I'm just going to leave that. It's got a little fold on the back, but I don't think it will interfere. If it is, you can fold it completely out. Open it up. I'm going to try like this. So I want to see, that's backwards, I think. Yeah. I need to mark it. Oh, this bigger letters are on the right. Okay, that'll help. Where's my tweezers? Because I can't hold nothing. So we're going to have these coming out, I think. That's a little long, so we'll just cut that off a little bit more. I might cut this ground off just a fraction more. Come here. Put that there. I'm just kind of laying them out to see what works. I don't think that will go around that, will it? It might go around that brad. That one's very much alike. Or something different. Shaking. I'm not sure about the green. No, not doing it for me. We'll stick with the flowers. I did want a place for a bee, though. I might could fit a bee in there. All right, something like that. So I'm just going to lay these up here in the order that I want. And hopefully I can fit them on there the way I like. And like I said, I'm going to tear that down just a little teeny bit more, which is going to be tricky because it is so tiny. So I'm going to use my scissors and just cut it on the bottom, I think. It's just a tiny bit deeper than I wanted it. I'm just going to do like that. Is that even? I can't tell. I can't tell. Probably not. Yeah, I need to cut just a little bit more off on this side. Right there. Okay. So I want this over my flowers, I think, so that they look like they're growing from behind it. You can put it either way. If you are going to put it under, make sure the glue is dry. So putting it over is safer in that sense. There's no chat. Are you guys just being quiet? I just don't know if I'm just not seeing chat or if y'all are just being quiet. Chances are y'all are just being quiet. I did want to trim that just a little bit more because I'm not going to see any of that behind. Okay. So we're going to start with this one. I'm just going to stick it over here. Hopefully I got it in the right spot. I'm guesstimating. It doesn't really matter, guys. Okay, there's one. Trying to remember to stay raised up enough for that ground. Sometimes I forget, and that's all right. It's not the end of the world. I get a little bit closer to that little brad. Now you can do this after, when you have the brad on. It's just, I think it's a little easier to do it before, because you don't have to worry about it being in your way or hitting it or anything like that. I'm just going to have that wrap around it, I think. Okay, you're being quiet. I figured it's too early for you to fall asleep on me, Dawn. She's always falling asleep on me. Girl works too hard. Hopefully this is fun. I think it's a cute project. I enjoyed it. And you can put whatever you want in it. Let me find a bee first. Let's see, do I have a bee? I don't think there's a small enough butterfly, so I'm probably going to have to use a bee. Teeny tiny bees, where are you? Let's see. I don't think there's any really tiny butterflies. I wish they'd come up with some more smaller things. They had a little thing talking about that, and I was like, you need some more smaller things. Maybe that one will fit. Remember, guys, if you guys need to purchase your transfers or your stencils or anything from Essential Stencil, use my code ARTROOM. You can get 10% off, okay? It's in the description. There's a link or something. Where's a little bee? Oh, that one's kind of little. I'm trying to see if I can fit it on. It'd be cool if I could fit it on a flower, but that might not happen. I think I'm going to try... I might just make it flying because I can't fit it on a flower. If you could fit it on a flower, it would make more sense when they're this direction. But since it's not, I think I'm just going to use this one again. That one. It's just, I think it's the smallest one. Oh, that one might be. That's the same. Okay. Sometimes they look smaller and they're not. So I think I'm going to try to fit this guy in here. Yeah, that'll work. So put this one over here. If I can get it to separate. I'm going to go further over. Okay. Meatloaf is in the oven so I can watch her. I'm cooking chili. I started chili at like 3. I started it on the stovetop, and then after cooking it on the stovetop for a little bit, I just threw it in the crock pot, and it'll cook the rest of the way in the crock pot. This one's not releasing. Let go. We're going to try our really fold over trick. See if I can get that to release. There we go. All right, little bee. Come here, little bee. Can't pick it up. All right, how do we want you to go? This way, this way. Let's go this way this time. And go about right there. Trying to make sure that I'm below that fold. I think I am. I'm just using my tweezers, guys. You can use almost anything that's got a flat, somewhat smooth surface. All right. I think that is good. I'm trying to debate if I want to use this one just as some grass. I could maybe just use this little teeny piece just to give it a little bit of greenery right there, I think. But, you know, have fun with it, guys. Play around. Think about where you want things. I could put it below the bee. I think it'll still show. The ground is somewhat low. We'll see in a second. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not the end of the world. Okay, there we go. Cute. All right, let's get our ground on. Okay. It's not too bad. I'm okay with that. So we're going to glue that on there. This is Art Glitter Glue. It seems to stick just fine to this. I'm trying to get right on that edge. There we go. We got our little flowers. And they got a little bit of ground there. All right, so let's do the back. So the back is going to be this one. And I think this one covers the whole thing, so we can use a larger design, a little bit larger anyway. That's pretty. I wonder if that would show well. It might. Maybe that, the brighter colors would definitely show a little bit better though. Let me look at my rustic flowers. Nope, let me look at this one. It could be just a single flower, it could be another little batch of flowers. It's up to y'all. That one's a little big. Most of the single ones I think are going to be the wrong direction for that particular thing. Yeah, that's too big. Don't want to use those. Don't want to use that. I don't know if it bugs me if he's a little bit sideways. If I do that one. They're both just hitting a little bit the direction I don't want. Yeah, I'll just use this one. Let me look at the rustic. Oh, I do like that yellow. I don't know if it covers enough of it. I'm gonna look at my rustic flowers real quick. and decide if I want to do that. Otherwise, I might use, where'd it go? Let me leave it out because as soon as I move away, I'm going to forget where it was. I'm going to just cut this out real quick. I know I'm off camera. I'm just cutting this out and I'll stick it there. It's hard for me to do it on camera sometimes. Okay, let me get these back in their little envelope. Hopefully get in there and not catch on anything. All right, rustic flowers, maybe. Or I think these are too tall. Yeah, those are all too tall. This would fit, but I think it's too light. So I don't want to go with that. I could put a honey pot. That's kind of cute. I don't know. What do I have in rustic? I do have some cute ones. I think this one's still in stock. I really don't remember, guys. But I feel like it was. I think I ran out of bags. I usually put these small pieces in a bag so I don't get them confused. Put that up there because I know it's spring. Oh, that's nice. Is that the right size? Almost. All right. I think this one's too tall. Yeah, too tall. Oops, don't do that. Nope. I got a lot of tall ones. That one might work. It's a little big. All right. Maybe I'll go with the yellow. I'm just going to trim off the yellow, I think. There's, 1.5 dozen options here, but if that was the other direction, I'd use that because that'd be cute just by itself, but it's not the right direction. I think this is too big. Yeah, it's really pushing it, so. All right, we're going to go with this one. I'm just going to trim it and make it work. So I think I will trim, debating where I want to trim it. Okay. Do that. Then right about there. I might be able to leave that. I'll see. Try to leave that one little flower there. Let's see. Is it gonna fit? Not quite. All right, means we gotta trim that. I'm just gonna pick a spot. Okay. Save these for when we need little flowers again. That's honeybee. Put that with honeybee. That's spring. Okay. Let's see. Now this one, I've got a lot of close places, so I'm going to try to grab in a spot where I won't touch the sticky. Ideally. And hope that can lay flat for me. If I come off the edge, I can always trim it. It's not a big deal. There. Try not to snag that edge. So I got some close areas on here. Sorry about the wiggly. I'm probably wiggling my camera. My tripod usually is leaning right on my desk. So if I wiggle my desk, then it wiggles. Let's see how that's going. Okay, that's not down. You gotta just kind of peek through and take your time. Try not to lose any little bits. It's not releasing right there. I'm gonna come back to that. Like I said, try to make sure it's stuck, because if you pull it away, a lot of times it just doesn't want to stick back down. So I like to go slow as I can. Let's see if I can grab that one. Okay. Missed a little bit. Let's see if we can get it to stick. Yeah. Okay. I know it's a process, guys, but it's so much better to just take your time and look through it. I am looking through this clear paper. And do watch your last little bit. Sometimes it'll pop off too soon. So I try to get it just worked in there so it doesn't pop off all at once. I think we almost got it. There we go. All clear. Cute. And pretty. All right. What am I using to put my transfer down with? It is a piece of wood. To be exact, it is a Dollar Tree piece of wood. I could probably even show you the package. Hold on. See if I can find it. It is this Crafter square wood planks. Chopped it in half with my X-Acto blade, and then I just sanded it. I just sanded off the edges so they're nice and smooth. That's all it is. I like it because it's, sorry about my mic in my hand. I like it because it's easy to hold, and it's smooth, and the more you use it, the smoother it gets. So it works very well. But just a piece of wood. Okay. All right, let's see. Some pieces here, I think. Trying to throw anything away that I don't want to throw away. Can't pick anything up. I think these are all clear. All right, that's trash. Keep this one. All right. Put that over there. Let's grab our envelope. All right, so we got the front. Okay, this goes here. Put this little front there. And we're just going to glue it on. Now, this bag is a little bit thin. It didn't seem like my glue went through, but just to be safe, you might want to stick something in there. I had a little piece of plastic. Of course, I won't be able to find it now. To grab another one. That's fine. I got lots of plastic. So just grab something and stick it in there. Okay, or fold down. So I'm just going to stick that in there until I glue it, just to be safe. Okay. Oops, my Belly's gurgling. All right, so make sure you're the right direction. I'm good. Try to center. Okay, glue that down. If you missed any edges, just go in and hit them. It's easy to miss the edges. It just happens. All right, so there's that little piece. And we're just going to make sure that there's no glue wet on there. And there's not, so it didn't go through. Fold that down. That's already on. Turn it over. So this goes here. And I'm going to have to open it completely up. This is why I don't put anything on first, because sometimes you just need to stick things in there to be safe. All right, so this is the back. So just always remember which direction things are. This one goes the opposite direction. So one will be going that way and one will be going that way. But just fold it. I'm going to ink that one. I don't think I did. It doesn't look like it. Where's my ink? Thank you, Betty. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. You were commenting on your iPad and it wasn't working? Oh. Sometimes it's my Kindle, so. Guys, if I don't see your comments because my Kindle, for whatever reason, decided not to show me, I check the comments after the live and try to reply. So I try to be pretty good about that. So don't lose hope. Chances are I'll reply. It has been cranky. It's always cranky. I have so many issues. All right, so let's make sure I get this the right way. Got to think about it. What did I say? So this one is, I'm just going to double check. It goes that way, so this one's up. Okay. Always just double check. It only takes you a second to double check you're doing it the right direction. Get that little edge. Edge. Like I said, I always miss the edges. Didn't get any glue on it, so it's not going through, which is good. And the art glitter goes on real thin, so it's less likely to do that to you. All right, so the right direction, we're the right direction, we're all good. Now, you can ink your envelope if you want or not. It really doesn't matter. We're going to put that brad on in a second, but I'm going to put this glue lid pen back in. If you want to ink it, ink it. If you are going to ink the envelope, because this one, like I said, is shiny, I would suggest using Archival. Potting soil is a nice brown. Archival ink. I like to ink my edges. I just like the look. It's easier to ink it before you put it together if you're going to ink it, guys. It's just a little bit easier. My belly's like it's ready for that chili. I have so many issues with my belly, guys. I have IBS and it's always giving me issues. All right, so that's that. That's that. I'm trying to make sure I got all my inked edges where they show. I think I'm good. All right, looks good. Now, let me zoom back out just a fraction. All right, so we got to put our little brad in. So grab your brad, which I have promptly lost. There it is. Stick it in the hole. Okay, open up your legs. Don't make it super tight. Okay, you don't want it so tight you can't get a string around that. So make it tight, but not so tight that you can't. If it feels like it's too tight, guys, just try and make it a little less tight. And sometimes that can be a little finicky, but just try not to make it too tight. All right. And then you can put tape there, but you don't have to because you're going to glue all around it anyway. I sometimes just like to put a little bit of tape because I just feel like it's going to keep it in the right direction better, maybe. I'm trying to get my masking tape to peel. It doesn't want to peel. So I'm just going to stick a little bit of tape over it. So we're going to glue it down anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But so now we're going to glue that shut. Okay. So glue everywhere. You can glue this flap if you're worried about getting in the wrong spot. Okay. Close her down. Okay, and just check your edges. A little bit there. All right. Now our flap is glued and our little brad is hidden. Okay, its little legs are hidden. All right. So what we're going to do is glue this edge closed. And just double check that I haven't forgot anything. I don't think I did. So make sure you're completely done, and then don't put glue on this side because this hits a little lower and you might get glue where you don't want it. You could just wipe it off, but it's a little safer to glue this side. Okay, so, and you can use double stick tape too if you want. The art glitter seems to hold it just fine. That's up to you. Just on the edge there. Yeah, if you've got any loose bits, you can glue those down. Sometimes there's a lot of little loose bits. It's not a big deal. They'll be on the inside. Nobody's going to know, but you can glue them. So a little bit of glue here. You don't have to glue the bottom, just the sides. Okay, you don't have to put glue there. All right, close it back up. And seal it down. All right, so there you go. Once that glue dries good, you'll have two pockets, one in the back and one in the front. All right, and then you can look and see if there's any little bits that you want to glue down, because it does have a lot of folds. There are going to be a lot of little spots that you can, glue down, or you can leave them open and, hide things in there. It's up to you. But don't glue these. This is a gusset, so you don't want to glue that, okay? Or that. Don't glue those. You can glue this. All right, that is that, and then you need some string. And you can use jute, you can use string, yarn, embroidery floss, whatever. I am going to, I don't know, let me think if I'm going to use this time. I used jute on the other one. I like the color. So you can use jute. A thinner jute is better. So make sure you can get a thin. This one is from Dollar Tree. I think that might have been from Dollar Tree too. I feel like it was. It doesn't say, but I can't remember where I bought that, but I feel like it might have been. But some sort of a string, and you just want it to be thin enough it can go under that little brad. I like to tie a slip knot. You can tie a slip knot if you know how, or you can just knot it. It's up to you, okay? I'm going to do a little slip knot, and I'm going to slip that underneath my brad. This is why you keep it loose. You got to be able to get under there. Okay, and I'm just going to pull that slip knot closed. Just about almost to the brad. And the reason I'm not pulling it closed completely is because that knot will get in my way. So I'm just going to put it there. So keep your knot very small. A slip knot has a slightly smaller knot than if I knotted it. So that's why I like doing a slip knot. Cut off the proper end. Don't cut off the other side or you'll be doing it again. And if you are worried about it coming loose, you can just stick a drop of glue there. You know, just a tiny little drop will usually make sure that that little knot is going to behave. Okay, and then you're going to wrap it. You can do once or twice, that's up to you. However many times you want, and then cut it. Okay, so this one I did, I think, I went the wrong direction. This one I did once. I think I like once. I'm going to pull this way. And one time around, and then leave yourself enough to hook over your little brad. Okay? It only takes like one loop around. That is plenty. Okay, if you want to go twice, leave more string, but it really only needs once. Okay? And that is it, guys. And you can go this way from the top, okay? Or you can go the way I did on this one from the bottom. It really does not matter. You've got about the same amount of string either way. Just play with it. Figure out, you know, what works for you. Okay, but that is our project. Aren't they cute? I think they're cute. And if you want to see how to do one with a paper bag instead of a pharmacy bag, check out Camelia Crafts Designs tutorial that I talked about earlier. When I upload this to YouTube, I'll put that in the links. There's not really a place to do that here. Comments. You can put whatever you want in here. You can put ephemera. You can put tags, money. I don't know. Put whatever you want in it. I will probably put little cards of some sort. Let's see if I can grab a couple here. I'll grab some tiny ephemera of some sort. What do we got? Tiny insects is kind of small. We'll do that one. Let's see what we got in here. Some of these are small. Some are big. But just pick yourself out some ephemera you can stick in there. You know, just hide it in there. It's great as like a little Happy Meal. Or if you're including a little bit of extra ephemera with your journal or something, and you're selling journals, you can always just tuck some in there like that. You know, whatever you want to tuck in there, guys, and then close it up. Okay? So that is my project. All right. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments. I will get back to y'all. And if you need to purchase anything from Essential Stencil, remember to use my code ARTROOM and get you 10% off your purchase, whether it be rub-on transfers, stencils, brushes, anything they sell. All right, and that is it, guys. Let's go pull this tape off so I have a screenshot for a thumbnail. All right, guys, that's my live for today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Y'all take care. Remember to upcycle when you can, and have a wonderful day. I will see you guys on, this is Sunday. I will see you on Wednesday. We're working in my nature journal, which is where these will go probably, at least one of them. So I'm working on my nature journal on Wednesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. So join me if you want to watch me do some journaling. All right, y'all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.